What's up, guys? Alright, so I'm back again with another video. Sorry, just moving my remote. So I don't really know what I was going to talk about. I just know that I haven't made a video in a while and thought I'd say hello. I've been going through some pretty weird shit in my life right now that I can't really discuss. It's really weird. I'll just put it that way. If you guys knew the amount of farmer's tan I had right now, I've been working landscaping again, and I'm always like this, so I never get a tan here or, on my torso, besides like a little bit on my neck, but oh, it's bad. Anyways, just letting you guys know that's why my face is all red right there. So what I could talk about is MBTI because it's been a while and it's not frustrating me to even talk about it or listen to it right now because it was for a while. Like, I was just getting annoyed with it, so I just stopped like looking it up and all that. It lost my interest for a little bit there, but maybe I could talk about this. The miscommunication between FE and FI. I It's like this thing where I guess the two functions can't understand each other. It's actually really funny. Like, for some reason, FE finds FI. I've called NI a suspicious function, like INFJs and INTJs. It's like a fishy. Uh, they're suspicious. I don't know. More so INFJs towards people and INTJs in a different way. But I do find that FE finds FI suspicious, and maybe not suspicious uh, in the same way as INFJs finding other people suspicious. More like, I don't know, like FE seems to think, like they try to like read or understand what I'm, or like decipher what I'm thinking or what I mean by what I say. And I notice we miscommunicate because they take it, they misunderstand my thought process and I misunderstand theirs, and we kind of have this clash where we butt heads a lot with ideas, and we kind of have like back and forth bickering contests. Um, of course, like not understanding that the other one means well, because I think that's like a common thing, or that I noticed, is like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like, I guess I can come off, like the way I say certain things can come off really cold, or like, I don't know, like, I think it might come off different than how I mean it, but I always, like, even if I mean well, I think sometimes FE doesn't understand that I do. I don't know whether if it's my voice that's just like giving me that bad impression on people, because like I can have a pretty serious voice, or like I don't know, it could sound pretty harsh, I guess sometimes. I don't mean for it to. So I actually have to purposely, like, this isn't like FI to like do this, but I guess it is if they notice it's affecting their lives with, or relationships with people or whatever. I notice I have to give myself a friendlier tone so I don't sound like I hate you or something, or like you're annoying me or whatever, because that can come off like that. But it's more like I'm just trying to understand the situation. Um, it's weird. I don't really understand FE, so I, I couldn't go ahead and tell you their side of the story. I just know where my miscommunications with FE is, or where I see them understanding me wrong. Yeah, because FE tries to do that, like with FI, they try to break them out of their natural state, and they don't realize they're doing that. Like, where FE would look at FI and say, "Oh, they're holding stuff in." Well, we are. They're holding stuff in that they need to let out, whatever. And maybe we do need to let it out because FI doesn't let out these things enough. But it's not the way that FE sometimes does it. It's kind of like, I almost feel as if, and I've noticed this with many, like my mom, my sister, uh, more people, not friends, girlfriends or friends that are girls or whatever. But I noticed they try to force a reaction out of me, and it actually makes it so much worse. Especially if I'm tired, like they actually make me say things I don't necessarily mean, or the way I end up saying it is kind of like after like an hour of like this back and forth, I end up just saying it, but like in a really harsh way, and then like FE tends to storm out all the time. Like that's something I noticed FE does. Like for some reason in the middle of something, I think FI is more patient. That's weird to note. I think I just like I noticed that FI is just they're more patient with arguments is what I feel. Like they can sit there and try to fully understand the situation. And when FE tries to do this, they do. But like I notice them get like I don't know, or maybe it's because of the way I react to it, because they start frustrating me because I see how they start reacting outwardly. Like they outwardly get like frustrated, like annoyed, and you see that all over their face, all over the way they react. It's like they're kind of like extremists. Like they go from like if they're in a good mood, yeah, and then like 2 minutes later, or like not even 2 minutes later, like we could be in the same 2 minute discussion, and I could say one thing, and like you could see how quickly FE just like reacts to something. Like where FI, if you said something to FI, they'll sit there quietly and think about it and then react. Where like with FE, it's kind of like in the middle of the conversation, they go from smiling to pissed in seconds. It's crazy. It's crazy to me because I'm not like that. Like I don't know. I noticed like FI, it's so FI in arguments with FI, you'll notice that you could almost have an entire argument with FI with smiles on your face. With smiles on your faces, even though you're both like really pissed at each other, you'll both be just smiling. And then if you're doing the same thing with FE, or when FE does it, it does not work because they will, like if they're pissed, they're gonna be pissed right in front of you, and they're gonna let you know they're pissed. And for FI, that kind of throws them off, throws them for a loop, and we don't know how to react. So we get even more quiet, and then they try to drive this out of us again. I've had a video kind of like this. Like FE does this to FI, or I noticed to me at least. Feeling extroverted has always done this to me. I don't know if like I'm sure it's done it to someone else, but let me know your experience in the box down below. I love reading the comments. Lets me know I'm not a complete weirdo, even though I like weird things. You know, it's nice to know that someone else enjoys that kind of weird stuff. Yeah, so I noticed that FE does that. Oh yeah, so when they try to drive this out of us, we end up coming to like a point, like let's say we're exhausted and like we're not even trying to talk anymore, and like FI kind of like Louis C.K. had a joke about this, like when they get into like a heated argument, not about FE and FI, like I just kind of like put two and two together, but when he's having like he said when he's having an argument with his wife, he gets to a point where he doesn't even like know what he means anymore, and he's just kind of like yelling and doesn't make any sense. And like on his show, Louis, I forgot which episode it is. I think it was in like the latest season. Was it 4 or 5? I don't know. But it was kind of like a sarcastic thing where they were like having an argument, and then and she's like, "What do you have to say about this?" And then he's like talking and talking and talking. And he's like, "I know I'm talking. I'm not making any sense right now, but you got me so mad. I don't even know what I'm thinking." Like it's kind of like that, and he has no idea what he's saying. That is me. Like I don't. That happens to me a lot, and like we'll get to a point in the argument where I don't even know what's going on anymore. I'm just like too confused. Like I can't understand like what we're even talking about anymore. And then like, but I guess FE still wants to get this reaction out of us that we're not giving, and we can make the situation a lot worse when we kind of come out of nowhere like right at the end and say like, you know, I don't know, I'm tired, just fuck off. And they're like, what? Something like that. That's happened to me. Like I get to the point where I'm so tired, I don't even know what to do, and then I just end up pissing him off even more and tell him to, you know, fuck off. for lack of a nicer way of saying it. Granted, it was like 12 in the morning, and I wasn't trying to have that discussion right then and there, but FE was. It's like their lack of patience, I guess. I don't want to just say all FE is impatient, but I noticed they are very impatient. If that's okay for me to stereotype. I don't know. I guess just something to work on. And FI should be less patient. And that's TI too. TI is more patient, I think, than they should be. TI is so mellow about shit. Like, I think TI could afford to be more, like, TE is completely not mellow about things. They're very, like, then and there, now or never. Do it or don't, or kind of. And then TI's like, yeah, I'll do it, like, soon, or, I'll do it. Setting a time, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to set it, but that's if you have TI to an extreme, so if it's in your top two functions. So you're not going to notice that if it's like your third. So that whole mellow thing. Well, because if you have TI, you have FE, but like, I'm just talking about the primary functions, and that's what you'll notice. So primary TI will be like a mellow type thing. Primary TE will not be mellow at all. But you realize TE has FI, and FI is more patient or whatever. But it's not going to be high in the stack. So one of them, whatever's highest is what will be prominent to the person, especially if they're like in their mid-20s or just developing as a person. They're not going to have their lower two functions completely developed. It's things to notice, and I realize I have to keep explaining myself, because if I leave it off like vague, how I usually tend to do by accident, it might sound like I don't know what I'm talking about or whatever, and I just have to clarify that. But yeah, so I notice FI can be a little too patient. They could afford to react more. FE could afford to have more patience and not drink so much coffee. TI could afford to be more action oriented. TE could afford to learn to take a chill pill once in a while and sleep or something, or not work. Just a lot of things. Yeah, so that's about it. Did I miss anything? I mean, I guess what I'm missing here is how FE takes FI, but I literally I don't understand how they take my FI. I don't understand whether it intrigues them. I don't understand what they want, but it just seems like they're trying to drive something out of me. And oh, here's another thing. FE thinks I'm lying a lot. Like, FE thinks as dominant FI that they think I'm lying all the time. I don't, or not all the time, but like, I don't know, like, I think I have this like smiling problem, but sometimes when I'm talking to them, I can't help but like smile and smirk and shit. And I think this gives them the wrong impression. And I don't really understand it, but it's been getting me in trouble, and I have to work on that. Maybe that's just me though. Like, maybe I should take things more seriously. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But yeah, they think I'm lying, and I have to work on it. And I have to like swear on Jesus himself for them to understand that I'm being truthful or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. In other news, yeah. Okay, guys.